Hello my friends, welcome to another episode of Chronicon. My name is Wilfred. So before I start, just take a look at my Thorns 71.5 million, and that is important to this video. Now, as you know, a couple of videos ago, I've been trying out this new build, which is Thorns Warlock, using the Masochist set as well as the Furious Retaliation set. So I'm combining the two sets into one, and I was trying out, having fun with it. Now, certainly it's one of the most fun Warlock build I've got. I play the Frost, I play Summoner, and this is really fun in terms of engaging. You can drag the enemy, group them together. Remind me a little bit like a monk in D3, whereby I can just keep grouping enemy into where you are and so on. So I'm having a lot of fun with it. Not necessarily the strongest. For some reason, I just can't get it to that strong yet. But we'll see how far I can push. Now, some of you asked this question on my YouTube channel and also offline as well. If my Thorn is so high, like 71.5 million, is there any benefit to use this set 3 bonus for the Retaliation set? Why not just, drop one of the items and drop one of this set item and take the set bonus 2 and be done with it? Don't need set bonus 3. Well, that's a fair ask, because if you look at the face value of it, only 50% of my damage going to Thorns, and my damage is not going to be that high. It's going to be about 30,000. Now it's coming down because my soul is pretty high before I come to start the video. So my damage is going to be 30,000, and half of it going to my Thorns, so it's only about 15,000 Thorns. So 15,000 Thorns compared to 71 million or 71 point whatever million, is it really worth it? Well, the answer is yes, actually, because the 50% of damage going to Thorn, but the Thorn is subjected to all this Thorn percentage buff, right? Because you can buff the Thorns by a certain percentage through your mastery or whatever setup that you have. So I did a study today, and I'd like to share that with you. For every point of damage, 1 damage, right? Instead of getting half Thorn, like what this set item means, I actually get 39 Thorns after all the scale up. 1 damage to 39 Thorns before the procs. Now, if I do the procs and get the crit and so on and so forth, and get the soul and everything up, 1 damage is 790 Thorns. So it is a pretty big one here. And to that end, just to recap on Warlock set, right? For this particular set, the bone damage, bone skill is being kind of increased by 25% of the Thorn. So if my damage stat go into both the damage of the bone skill as well as to Thorn that will add onto the bone skill, basically it is a win, because you gear for damage, you have both component to it. And to further kind of like look into the whole thing, right? What I've done is that I've actually tried to play around with the mastery as well, because if you look at the mastery here, you could shift the pawn from damage to a Thorn, right? If Thorn is so high, then why not just put more on Thorn? And I've done that as well, and I'm having a significant kind of like a DPS drop by about 60%, just to shift the pawns from one to the other. So instead of putting a pawns on Thorn in damage and put it on Thorn, by the way, both are roughly the same kind of like configuration. That further proved upon that damage is much better stat compared to Thorns when it comes to this Warlock build itself. Mainly because the damage also buff Thorn before it is having scale up by the Thorn percentage high. And just to wrap up the whole story is that if I take away just one of these items, meaning that because this item, if you look at the stat there, majority of it is not really to do with the Thorn or damage itself. I dropped my the Thorns from 71 million down to 45 million, just by removing the damage component of it. So definitely, it is not just half of this damage, but it's way more than that. It becomes millions of it due to all the mechanism that I've got. So yeah, I mean, that's the takeaway point. I'd like to share that with you. With that said, thanks for the question, because that kind of like, I knew that it should be correct, but it kind of forced me to look into the number, do some calculations, and to justify that, yeah, I do need the third set. item for my retaliation to work. So that's one. Another thing that I've learned, right, and this is kind of interesting, is the effect duration. So I've always thought that the effect duration is to affect the buff, but then it also affects the damage over time as well, which kind of makes sense. So the higher your effect duration, the better your kind of like the longer your damage over time. Now, if you play World of Warcraft before, and you remember in the past that in the World of Warcraft, the ticks are per half a second, so the effect comes half a second. And whatever gear number or scroll that you want to apply or what have you, you try to meet the magic number of like, just doing enough but not too much, right? So when I made the video in the past, and last video, Bone Splinter, which is the main power of it. Now, just to share with you one thing, right? The Bone Splinter is basically the hidden gem of the whole entire Warlock Thorns set, because Warlock does shadow damage augmented by Thorns. Yeah, big deal. But 125% of it will dealt as a bleed damage that is ever real, that is not going to be affected by any penalty due to the mod's resistance. And it takes like, number of time depending on the number of seconds I have. In my last video, the duration is 3.75 seconds. So you only take 3 times because it takes every seconds. But then I changed one of my stats from reach into say into effect duration, and all of a sudden I'm getting 4 seconds of it. Just nice, a little bit more than 4 seconds, but it takes 4 times. So the difference between 3 times and 4 times is tremendous, because 4 times means that you have 4 stacks of the splinter, and 4 stacks of splinter is you definitely have increase your DPS by a certain mileage, maybe looking at 15 to 20%, because you have the base damage plus 125% that you add up together, right? So yeah, it's a pretty big one. And just to recap, why Bone Splinter is so important is that because of this lesser rune here, Bone Splinter may now be triggered from any bone skill, not just the Bone Synth or Bone Storm, but any bone skill. So I've got quite a lot of bone skill, like the Life Reap is a bones. Well, this is not a bone skill, but the bone skill is this one here, the Bone Sphere, the Bone Synth, as well as the I've got this one, Bone Storm as well. So these are all bone skill. All right. So now, having said that, I mean, there's some improvement in my set. So I would like to just play a little bit of the Mythic 12 for you to compare what I have in the past, like in the last video, and what I have now. It kind of improved a little bit as well. My Thorn kind of improved a bit. So we'll see how it goes. Let's do some of the Mythic 12, and let's see what kind of map I have. Ooh, this is a big map. Okay, so that's done. I mean, it's enjoyable. It's this flying thing is very, very high damage. I'm still trying to figure out my survivability as well, because it's not easy to survive. I found that this build requires a lot of masochism. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy that this seems to work out. I mean, it seems to be slightly faster as well, I would say, but it's not like very, very fast, I would say, depending on how many mobs I've got and so on. And it depends on mod density, of course. Yeah, so it's kind of interesting. You just keep dragging the mobs around me into this place, and it does 4 stacks of Bone Splinter instead. So yeah, I'm popping a soul, ritual soul that gives me a temporary boon to be more awesome in terms of my health and regen and what have you. Ooh, this is high damage. The flying one is very, very high damage. I don't know why it's maybe it's being added to this. These guys here are super high damage. Have to be very, very careful. A bit of like kiting here and there. Whoa. Okay, pop my Ritual Soul, increase my all my health on here as well. I've got a passive or mastery that does that. Ooh. Do a Bone Storm. Just keep grabbing, man. Just keep grabbing and teleporting, and do a boon as well. Ritual Soul. Yeah, it's alright most of the time. I mean, sometimes there are some scary moments for this build, and I still need to figure out how to survive better. I think probably with high health, I'll become better. And anyway, 30% of my health go into the Thorn, so maybe it's worth it. I think this build still have a lot of potential. I need to see how far I can go with this build. Bone Storm, Ritual Soul. Oh, this is a high power stuff, man. This one hurts a lot. 75%. I mean, it's steady. It doesn't like, it's not like a summoner that kill really fast, but it's not like Frost as well. The Frost is a different gameplay. The Frost build I've got is more about the corp shattering and all different mechanic. Okay, let's go. I'm pretty good at teleporting, by the way. Alright, let's see, next bit. Not really a lot of mobs here, not that. Okay. Okay, find a nice spot, try to grab the enemy together. That's what I usually do. This kind of flying things is quite scary. And the good thing about, by the way, the good thing about the bleed build is that it stops the health regen of the mob. So some of them is vampiric. I don't know whether you see that or not. You can see all these like mana leecher and what have you. So the mana leecher is the one that, you know, suddenly your mana just drop like a fly. I mean, it's one of those details that if you play a lot, you probably pay attention to it. But otherwise, you just keep clicking and, you know, without really thinking too hard, I guess. But like all of them has some of them has affixes, especially the champion. Like they have all these like, you know, plaque and what have you. So you can see. You know, sometimes you wonder why your mana drops so fast, like a fly. So. Storm. Sometimes I forget the Bone Storm, by the way. It's not exactly the most like responsive key, I would say. Sometimes I press a button, nothing happens. I don't know why. Maybe there's a lot of queuing of the mechanism wise. Ooh. Why am I not having enough mobs around this map? Interesting. I thought I killed almost everything. I see. Huh, where are the... I think it's the other side. I'm not familiar with this map though, by the way. Some map I'm pretty good at, but this is not one of those. This should be soon. Wow, this map is small, man. I have to like... Done. I have to almost kill everything in order to count. Okay, third one. As you can see, I mean, it's okay. It's not that fast, but oh man, these birds, man, damn birds. It's a really high damage. So when you see birds like that, you try not to group too many of them. Just like take out one group at a time. But things like this, you can actually group them. Oh man, birds again. Four stats. Bone Splinter. Okay, done. Extra damage. Yeah, I'm quite strong, but not that. I mean, I can stand on some bad stuff for a while, but these are very high power, high damage stuff, man. These are Sabaton. After a while, you kind of know which one is the more scarier. Okay, so that's almost done. Whoa, these are the... oh, wow. Let's try a few there, and the more the merrier, because there's a lot of explosion happening as well. Sabaton. Man, I'm running out of mana. I think there's some mana list somewhere. Usually I'm pretty okay with mana. So done. Man, this flies. This. Whoa. Man, they need to tune this guy, man. This is a really high power stuff. The bird or the dinosaur, whatever you call it. Alright, that's cool. Whoa, blows. Done. So I think it's not too bad. I kind of like this build. It's fun. Not flashy though. Let's go. Whoa. Birds, man, birds. Whoa. That was quite scary. I was looking at my shield as well. I'm using a shield to mitigate the damage, or at least some of it. Wow, those birds, man. They are coming. You kind of like, uh-oh. You see that? It's really high damage. It's like insane. Compared to the rest of the thing that we have. It's not even a debuff. There's no debuff, as you can see. If there's a debuff, you can see the red icon above. It's just pure damage from them. Because sometimes I get it, right? I mean, you know, you get poison, you get burned, you know that you're losing a lot of health, but you know, these flying birds here are just insane. So, yep, let me just get a bit more, 90 whatever percent. Whoa! Woo! Done. Whoa, Sabator. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty good if we are in a big group. Because of the explosion at AoE, the Nova. I've got like a bone Nova when I deal Thorn damage, when people kind of like, you know, attack me. Nice, done! We'll just finish all this thing off, man, since I'm enjoying so much. Oh, wow. Let me try to... Whoa! I'm trying to get a shield, but apparently, you know what? That's fine. Without shield is fine. Boss time, no shield. Yep, there you go. No shield. I'm trying to get, yeah, the Bone Storm. It's a bit slow. Done. And the, yeah. I thought it's clear. How come there's still one? Oh, not yet. Is it done? Okay, done. So, yep, that is it. There was a boss of 3 bosses, I think. They all have different names. So, yeah, that is the Thorn Warlock I've got. It's fun. It's fun. But I don't know how far I need to push in order to get to the next tier. Looks quite difficult sometimes. I'm trying to see upgrade my Thorn. You know, there's still a long way to go. I've got I don't know how many gear I have Thorns inside. So I mean, if I get all this gear to Thorn, then I up all my health as well. It's going to be a long way for me to do it before I get to the augmentation. Now, of course, I can always go back to using my summoner to farm material, but then they defeat all the points about just learning the character and just be one with the character in some sense. And look, I've got another prismatic cube, and you guys are my lucky star. Been farming for all this cube to augment my gear. None of my gear has a cube yet. I mean prismatic cube. So yeah, I think it's going to be fun. We'll see how it goes. Oh, okay. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Goodbye.